freedom and equality, the Emancipation Proclamation, and the March on Washington. We welcome you to join us in commemorating our historical past so that we might learn of our great heritage as they model great genius and intellect long before us. We welcome you to a time of renewal and commitment to being the best and most creative that we can be in thought, word, and deed. And we welcome you for this time of celebrating that which is good all around us and in us, that we see the good and the phenomenal and the simple, and the divine and in nature. Thank you for coming and sharing this time of gathering, a time when we renew and reclaim our connections, our relationships of community. So again, welcome.
At the crossroads of freedom and equality, the Emancipation Proclamation and the March on Washington. The year 2013 marks two important anniversaries in the history of African Americans in the United States. On January 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation set the United States on the path of ending slavery. A wartime measure issued by President Abraham Lincoln, the proclamation freed relatively few slaves, but it fueled the fire of the enslaved to strike for their freedom. In many respects, Lincoln's declaration simply acknowledged the epidemic of black self-emancipation, spread by black freedom crusaders like Harriet Tubman, that already had commenced beyond his control. Those in bondage increasingly streamed into the camps of the Union Army, proclaiming and asserting self-determination. The result, abolitionist Frederick Douglass predicted, was that the war for the Union became a war against slavery. The actions of both Lincoln and the slaves made clear that the Civil War was indeed, as well as in theory, a struggle between the forces of slavery and emancipation. The full-scale dismantlement of the peculiar institution of human bondage had begun. In 1963, a century later, America once again stood at the crossroads. 9 years earlier, the U.S. Supreme Court had outlawed racial segregation in public schools, but the nation had not yet committed itself to equality of citizenship. Segregation and innumerable other forms of discrimination made second-class citizenship the extra-constitutional status of non-whites. Another American president caught in the gale of racial change, John F. Kennedy temporized over the legal and moral issue of his time. Like Lincoln before him, national concerns and the growing momentum of black mass mobilization efforts overrode his personal ambivalence towards demands for black civil rights. On August 28, 1963, hundreds of thousands of Americans, blacks and whites, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, marched to the memorial of Abraham Lincoln, the author of the Emancipation Proclamation, in the continuing pursuit of equality of citizenship and self-determination. It was on this occasion that Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his celebrated I Have a Dream speech. Just as the Emancipation Proclamation had recognized the coming end of slavery, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom announced that the days of legal segregation in the United States were numbered.
My dream has come true. The young one's eyes have finally opened, and may finally walk along with my future brothers and sisters, as my brother and sister shall walk with them. How little it is of the man who claims that he is the one and only, when others stand right before him, praising of such glories of the world. Even more so does we, who see the exact same as that little man. Yet we do not criticize back toward this exact mirror. Let us forever glance at the greatness we have finally been blessed with, this true freedom to walk amongst all others. The greatest to sit in the comfortable seat, the greatness to enter a solid stone building, the greatness for our own to have homes wherever possible, the greatness for us to speak and not be spoken to. It is this greatness dream, addressed and fulfilled, that I am proud of the American people.
Soon I'll be done with the trouble of this world, trouble of this world, trouble of this world. I soon will
Proclamation of Emancipation was issued January 1st, 1863. St. Patrick, slave to Milko of the herds of Ballymena, wakened with these words, "Arise and flee, out from the land of bondage and be free." Glad as a soul in pain who hears from heaven the angels singing of his sins forgiven, and wondering sees his prison opening to their golden keys. He rose a man who laid him down a slave, shook from his locks the ashes of the grave, and outward trod into the glorious liberty of God. He cast the symbols of his shame away, and, passing where the sleeping Milko lay, though back and limb smarted with wrong, he prayed, God pardon him. So went he forth, but in God's time he came to light on Julian's hill a holy flame, and dying gave the land a saint that lost him as a slave. O dark, sad millions, patiently and dumb, waiting for God, your hour at last has come, and freedom's song breaks the long silence of your night of wrong. Arise and flee, shake off the vile restraint of ages, but like Ballymena's saint, the oppressor spare. Heap only on his head the coals of prayer. Go forth like him return again, to bless the land whereon, in bitter pain, ye toiled at first, and heal with freedom what your slavery cursed.
I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down all my burdens down by the riverside to study you walk the wall. Come on, I'm gonna lay down
Our speaker, Mr. Tommy Agee, was born in Maplesville, Alabama, the youngest of 4 boys. He went to Maplesville High School, where he was president of his senior class, president of Beta Club, and vice president of FFA. He lettered in football, basketball, and track, and in 1982, he graduated with honors. Mr. Tommy Agee received a football scholarship to Auburn University, where he was awarded numerous awards for athletic accomplishments, and graduated in 1987 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and law enforcement. In 1987, he was drafted in the NFL by Seattle Seahawks in the 5th round. He played for the Seahawks from 1987 to 1988. In 1989, he played for Kansas City Chiefs, and then from 1990 and 1994, he played for the Dallas Cowboys. Within those years, the Cowboys won back-to-back Super Bowl championships. In 1995, Mr. Agee retired. In 1989, he and a college and a homecoming friend started a nonprofit organization called Project Year, set up to stir young people away from destructive lifestyles. In 1996, he worked with the Lee County Juvenile Court Community Service, as well as Opelika Parks and Recreation Department. From 1997 to now, he has served as various boards and committees within Opelika City Schools and throughout the community. In 2008, he became president of ARPA. Even with his busy schedule, Mr. Agee still has time to go into schools, churches, and civic groups to give motivational speeches. Married to Mrs. Agee for 24 years, he has 3 children, Tyler 20, Tori 18, and Angelique 16. He and his families are members of Greater Peace Missionary Baptist Church, where he serves as a deacon and director of the Youth Connection Ministry.
I love to go somewhere and feel at home, and let me tell you, when I come in the door, you're singing all these nice gospel songs, and it just makes me feel like being at home. First of all, let me I want to thank y'all for allowing me to come in to be the guest speaker today. And one of the things that I always try to do is I try to keep it short, sweet, and straight to the point. But sometimes my heart get carried away, and I tend to speak from the heart in everything that I do. As you can see, the only thing I brought out with me was a book and a little piece of paper in there, and that's just to remind me of something. I want to say that last year, this time, I was asked to do this here, and my schedule didn't allow me to do it, and I promised, I guess that's Willie Jr., and Willie the Fourth, I promised him that I was going to come up here and do it this year. And I wouldn't let anything stop me from coming this year. I thought that the traffic was going to stop me this morning in Birmingham. I had an hour delay up there because I wanted to get here and just meditate on the words and what the Lord was going to lay on my heart to say. But that didn't work out. I kind of pressed on and pressed on. I kept calling Willie up and telling him that, man, I'm stuck in traffic. I'm still stuck in traffic. My GPS just keep ticking down. I had time to get up this morning about 5, and I got on the road about 5:30, and I kept thinking about what I was going to say to you all today at this Black History program. And one of the things that I try to do is I try to stay on topic. The theme for this year for the Black History, the National Black History theme is at the crossroads of freedom and equality. The Emancipation Proclamation and the March on Washington, D.C. And I want to concentrate on the 2 people who brought those 2 incidents about. Then I'm going to go into explaining a few more things. It's going to be quick. Now you just grab on. I'm just like a bucking horse. Now you just grab them reins and hold on now, because when I get to talking, I get to moving around and my mouth will moving fast. But y'all can hold on now. Just hold on to it. As I look at President Lincoln and what he was trying to do when he got was trying to come up with ideas on trying to end slavery, he could have been just like all the presidents before him. Sit back and let slavery continue to go on. But no, he didn't want to do that. He had a burning desire for every man, woman, and child. Not just one particular race, not just one particular color or what. He wanted every person to be free in this great land that we call the United States of America. I said, he could have been like all the other presidents, sit back and collect his paycheck, rule the country, rule the United States, and let it be done. Slavery would still be going on. He was still going to get paid, and he was still going to be president of the United States. But I could see Lincoln sitting there talking to his cabinet members and trying to get the Senate to pass this new law, to get this proclamation signed to free the slaves, the people who were doing all the work. No. Can you imagine the turmoil and the pain and everything that he was going through, knowing that he was going to be ostracized, criticized, you know, threatened? Every possible bad thing that you can imagine was going to happen to him for standing up, saying every man, woman, boy, girl, child should be free. And he did. There was one thing, there's one thing I want you to know. He was different. Different from the other presidents that came before him. He was willing to take a stand. Okay? Now take Dr. King, March on Washington, I Have a Dream speech. Every time I hear that speech, it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Now, in fact, every time I hear Dr. King's voice, it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. But you talking about somebody who dared to be different in a time where a black man coming up saying, ho, 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 man, you ain't treating me fair. Everybody should be treated equally. And you talking about taking a stand, and he did it in a way that was different from a lot of other people that was doing it. Non-violence. He said, you got to go in. He told the people who was following him, who was trying to bring about this change, he said, I don't care what they do to you, do not retaliate. They hit you in the face, don't throw a punch. They spit in your face, don't hit, don't do anything. Don't say a mumbling word. That's hard to do nowadays. I'm telling you, I look out and I see y'all young people, somebody walk by you and bump you in the hall. You want to fight. Some people want to fight and beat them up over it. But I'm telling you now, you look at these historians, these great historians, and find something about them that you can grab hold to and emulate. Dare to be different. Dare to be different. See, it's okay to be different. A lot of you might go, oh no, I ain't hanging out that was different. It's okay to be different. Look at President Lincoln. He dared to be different. Dr. King, he dared to be different. All the people that followed those people, they dared to be different. It's one thing that I have learned, that when you give in and you want to be just like everybody else, that's easy. That's real easy. But it's hard to be different. It's hard to be different. So, do you want the easy way out? Or are you willing to take a stand and say, I'm going to be different? Because I know you all are faced with a lot of different things that are going on in your life. In the National Black History theme, it says, at the crossroads, which means, where do we go from here? You all are at the crossroads in your lives also. Trying to make a decision on what you want to do with the rest of your life, and trying to do right from wrong. Do I want to hang out with my friends and do some of the things they're doing? Crossroads. I look at them as making decisions. Your whole life is going to be about making decisions. And how well and which way you decide to go will determine how how far you go in life. Mind you, it's going to be difficult. But didn't I just say being different is difficult? But trying to conform to the norm and being common, that's easy. And just as sure as I'm standing here, some of you all might decide to take the common route. Want to, confine to the norm. Do what everybody else doing. Some of them, I didn't say all of them. Some of them. That decision could make you or destroy you. In my hometown of Opelika, Alabama, we have the whole city is on a reading kick. And we're reading this book by Tony Dungy. It's called Uncommon. We started it in the schools, and then we stretched it out to the community. Everybody in the community has a copy of this book. Well, it's in every household, should I say. And we had study groups discussing this book of Uncommon. And Tony Dungy, like a lot of y'all might not know Mr. Dungy, was a great football player, great coach, and a great analyst, and a terrific writer. I played with Tony when I was at Kansas City. Knew there was something different about him. Tony never raised his voice at practice. Never said a cuss word as long as I was in Kansas City. Uncommon for a lot of pro football coaches. I'm here to tell you, I can relate to everything he says in this book. I know the man and what he talks about is true. And I'm not up here to promote Tony's book, but what it talks about is being uncommon. And he talks about kids that has come across his life, kids who are trying to make a change in their life and stay on that right and narrow track. Being different from everybody else, separating yourself from the crowd. You want a good job? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, nowadays it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of other people going in applying for the same job that a lot of you all are going to get out and apply for. What's going to make you stand out more than the other one? How are you going to sell yourself? I want you all to think about all those different people that you're studying about during Black History Month. Every last one of them was uncommon. Every last one of them dared to be different. Every last one of them did something that is put down and never forgotten. Written down in the books, never forgotten. Now, mind you, some of y'all will probably get to write some stuff down and do some things that will be put in the history books. But that's a decision that you all are going to have to make. It's one thing that I've learned is that where you come from, that's not a fact. That's not a fact. How you were raised, that plays a big factor in whether you're going to be common or uncommon. You see, I'm going to use myself as a prime example. When I got to Dallas, Texas, I'm going to start where I finished at and go backwards. When I was in Dallas, Texas, had a lot of crossroads, had a lot of decisions to make. Did I want to be like all the other guys who was out there doing God knows whatever? I heard about everything that they were doing. but I chose to go a different route, separated myself from the crowd, thought they was gonna treat me differently, but got all the respect and love of the whole team. When I was in Kansas City, I hate Kansas City, so I'm gonna skip over that one. Seattle, the same exact thing happened. Daring to be different. Little small kid from Maplesville, Alabama, wasn't supposed to go nowhere. Was supposed to be in Maplesville, working at the sawmill like all his other friends. Auburn University, full scholarship. And I don't want y'all to think that this is sounding like I'm bragging or I'm conceited. No. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I didn't do any of it. Hey man, I know that I've been blessed. I know a lot of people prayed for me. And by this being Black History Month, let me tell you something. Prayer is what got black people over believing in a higher power. But, and just like everybody else is praying, you can pray as a child of yourself. And I guarantee you, if you put your faith and trust in Him, see, y'all brought the wrong one up in here and not talk about Christianity in the school system. If you put your faith and trust in God, the Almighty, I guarantee you, listen to me, I'm guaranteeing this now, I guarantee you, He will bless you so much, you won't have enough room for it. And y'all might say, oh, this is just another guy who up there talking about the Bible. No. I'm telling y'all, I am a living witness. Okay? Now, going back to Maplesville, when I was in Maplesville, I was the smallest person on my football team. The smallest. I look like it now, years have caught up with me. I weighed about 145 pounds. Running back in Auburn University gave me a scholarship. One unheard of. Running a 4.740. Now most of you young ladies might not know what that means, but that's slow to me. That's slow for a running back. But we did. But anyway, all that aside, being from Maplesville, that was just fuel that was added to my desire to go on and prove everybody who thought that this little skinny, nappy-head kid from Maplesville was not going to die. I know I'm bald-headed now, so that's okay. But just like I had to find a way to pull all those things into perspective to give me a burning desire to go out there and do the very best that I possibly could do, you all are going to have to do the same thing. Just because you're from Jasper, Alabama, that doesn't mean you're going to automatically succeed or fail. But if whatever you're going through, whatever type of lifestyle you have at home, whatever it is, it does not have anything to do with how far you're going to go in life. You got to make a decision on whether you are going to make it or not. You got to study. You got to do what these teachers telling you to do here at the school, the principal, the counselor. You got to get that college. You got to get a way to get to college and all that. I know you all can do it. I'm looking at a room full of bright young minds, intelligent young people. Anybody who can text as fast as y'all text and play those video games like you play them, and man, if you just apply part of that energy, part of it to the schoolwork and doing your best, the sky is the limit. But always keep God first. And let me tell you, I dare interview you all to strive to be uncommon. Don't be like everybody else. Strive to be different from the ones who are out there getting in trouble, the ones who trying to persuade you to do things that's going to stop you from being a success. Don't be like the class clown. Don't laugh at the class clown. You start laughing at him, he'll start being a clown and start making some good grades. Use common sense. Now, like I said, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, straight to the point. I'm going to leave y'all with this. And I've said it time and time again. All of our forefathers, the ones who are in the history books, those people were uncommon people. They were different. They did things a little different. They didn't do them like the people that came before them. That's why their names are in the history books. I dare you to strive to be different. Strive to be uncommon. I dare you. Because if you take me up on that there, man, you will soar out of Jasper like a skyrocket, going on to bigger and better things. But keep God first. Always put God first. Okay? Now, that's about it. I'm not going to talk long. I know y'all got other classes to go to. Y'all got to get it done. Do y'all have any questions? Anybody have any questions? No questions. Okay, before you do that, can I say one more thing? All right, a pop quiz. Pop quiz. Get that box. That box back there. I'm gonna get whoever get it right in the picture or something. Where did I start out? What was the very first team that I played for? Raise your hand. All the way back. What you mean you just joke? All right, let me make it easy. What professional team did I first play for? Huh? Yeah. You got it right. Here you go. What high school team did I play for? You raise your hand. What up? What you got now? Right here. Now, I do that to say this now. Always pay attention to what the teacher says and always listen, because you know you might get a pop test at the end of class or the next day. So pay attention in class. Thank you.